Okay, we're ready.
Ready?
Yes.
All right, and so I'd like to call the meeting to order, and let's begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now the roll call, but I don't have
Rosa Maria has it. Oh, let me give her the. Oh, we got it.
the roll call. Carol, Alexander, Avis, Amber. Here. Dolores, Boston. Here. Sylvia Bruni, here. Miriam Castillo. Here. Lisette Cuellar has resigned. Rosa Maria Villano.
Present.
Diana Espinosa.
Here.
Esther Pirova.
Present.
Maribel Garcia.
Here.
Olga Gentry. Elia Guevara. Alice Herrera. Sylvia Palumbo.
Here.
Guadalupe Ramirez. Sandra Rocha Taylor. And Diana Rodriguez.
Here.
We have quorum. Let's start off with public comments in case there are. Welcome, girls. Ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
If you all would just sign in, girls, so we make sure that you're included in the roster as attended. And it's out there somewhere.
Right there.
Yes, ma'am.
Olga says she's on her way.
I know.
Okay.
She'll be coming in a few minutes. She texted me too. We've got a, hey, I think we're gonna have a full house. It's down there, Alice. We've got a great agenda full of really, really important stuff to discuss. Let's begin with the approval of the December 16th minutes. If you would take a few minutes to review, and then when you're ready to call for a vote, let me know.
I've reviewed them before, and I want to make a comment. I just want to approve. I move to approve the minutes from December 16th.
There's a motion to approve in a second.
1 second.
And it's seconded by Esther. Esther, and moved and seconded that we approve the minutes of December the 16th. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, then I'm going to move into something that we need to do very quickly. One of our members has resigned, Lisette Cuellar has resigned, and so I'd like to appoint a nominating committee of at least 3 members that would recommend a fellow commission member to fill the office of vice chair, which she held. If for some reason you were to nominate an individual who currently holds another office, then we would need to consider that nomination also. But I'd like to recommend at least 3 of you to help me with the nominations. Rosa Maria, would you consider sitting on that committee?
Sure.
Carol, would you consider sitting on that committee? Nominating committee?
Oh, yes,
A
sure.
nominating committee, and a 3rd member who would like to volunteer? Anyone like to volunteer? Okay, Sylvia Palumbo will volunteer. So we're going to have Rosa Maria and Carol and Sylvia Palumbo who will sit on the nominating committee and bring us a nomination to fill the position of vice chair. And again, if you decide to nominate someone that currently fills a role on the board, on the commission, then we would need to be prepared for another nomination.
Yeah, okay, great.
All right? All right. Then let's move very quickly into committee reports.
And before we move on, just your packets for FYI, because we kind of keep messing around. You have the agenda, you have the minutes, and then right behind that, you have a looking ahead of critical dates. And those are really, really important because some of you have some big responsibilities and there's a lot of work that you all are doing. And then after that, everything else is a handout, okay? So Ms. Brunin will be referring to where it says, it's in your packet, it's probably in the handout section.
Okay.
Well, and I can use that as a segue to actually review critical dates. If you don't mind pulling out that particular list, I've already highlighted mine. The looking ahead critical dates, and I want to thank Sulema because she continues to bring it up. It's really, really important. The first date that we had on the looking ahead, January 13th, we've met. We met that date. The committee that worked on the nominations was a really, really hard-working committee, and I want to thank Diana for having guided us through that process very, very carefully. We had an event that had been scheduled for January 14th, but unfortunately, when Ms. Webb resigned, that event was not ready to be staged. And so I'm not suggesting that we delete it. I'm suggesting that we postpone it, and then we can decide what we're going to do with it. Okay? On January the 15th, we're going to be submitting the nominations that we're going to present to you that I'm counting on an approval for. We'll be submitting those to City Council, and those will be the list of nominees for the Hall of Fame. And then the presentation by us will be coming before the council on the 21st, and I want you to put that on your calendar, because I would hope to see every single one of us there when Alice presents we'll stand with her, but she's a chair and I want to give her credit for that. We'll be presenting.
Diana.
What did I say?
Alice.
I'm sorry, Alice. Diana.
Diana. What time?
Well, normally those meetings begin at 5:30, but we'll play it by ear. We'll let you know.
Okay.
Okay? January 21st, if all goes as we expect it should, and they approve the nominations that we've submitted, then on the following 2 days, we begin to notify them, the honorees of their selection. The media reception on the 24th, and I think that's something Sandra's working on. We'll talk some more about it. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah. But I want you to see how we're literally right there. We're in January and moving very quickly into these. And then the January 27th, we begin to coordinate with public access for the videos. Anyway, those are the critical dates in January, okay? Let's go ahead and move into the agenda, the get out the vote. And I had suggested to Sulema that we change the name to Yes, I Will Vote, since it's becoming the standard.
Yeah.
But we didn't quite coordinate with each other, so. But Sylvia was responsible for coordinating this event, and it was wonderfully successful.
Well, yes, it was. Actually, we had 40 organizations that were present, and we had committed to 25 people, but I think we had, and I know we had over 100, well, about 150, and we do have about 10, I guess, people that had offered, that we gave them packets of everything that they have to do as they go back to their jobs, and how they can do their own voter registration, education, and getting out the vote. So a lot of people showed interest in it. We had a lot of good coverage from the media, and people are still calling us. I know we have an event, not an event, I know we had, they asked me from the Laredo Beauty College to go and register the girls and talk about the importance of voting. And there are other people, the Laredo Community College, Laredo College also with Carolyn. They're gonna do their own thing also at that college, and of course, et cetera, all of the companies that came. So we're continuing, we did set the goal, we had the proclamation read, we had the mayor there, we had city council members, we had a lot of people that were there that were very, very interested in helping. So I believe we had set a goal of 40,000 for March, and for November, 70,000. And it looks very well, very wonderful. So I want to thank everybody that helped out, and ladies and everybody that was there, and Sylvia for doing a great job. And then I had Lidia Camarillo, I've got to thank her very much. She was awesome. And she was the keynote speaker, and she gave us a lot of wealth of information. And so she has told me that she would come back if we need her to come back to do training, to let us know, to let her know, and she would come. So she is a good friend, and she knows people here in Laredo, and she was very happy to be here. So I want to thank all of you.
So will we send a thank you note on behalf of the commission to Ms.
Yes.
Camarillo?
Well, I know that I already sent one out
Oh, you
to the
did?
back, well, no, not to Lidia, I sent one immediately to the bank, but we definitely need to follow
And
it
you have a
up.
copy of it in your packet.
Yes. Let me give you a very brief little update, recap of what's already happening. One of the things that I think many of us realized as we were working on this is that luncheon was just the beginning. It literally is just the beginning. The real campaign begins that day and the day after. There are already at least 11 of the 40 organizations that have already committed to partnering with us, and I'll give you an example. Immediately, the following day, we had an email from Carolyn Schneese from the Laredo College. They've always been involved, but more and more involved with the Yes I Will Vote. And these are some of the things that they approved already. They're going to have scripted messages. The Yes I Will Vote logo and messages, which were created by Laredo Morning Times, are available to all of us. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send it to all of you. It's a link that basically gives you and any organization that you might be working with access to exactly the same, so that we're all using the Yes I Will Vote logo, all of us linked together. I'll send it to all of you so that if you're working, and for example, Dolores is working with Laredo Medical Center, or Amber is working with Tammy U, that we're all connecting and using. In addition to the logos, well, let me tell you what the college is doing. They're going to be scripting messages on their electronic signage. They're going to be notifying all faculty to mention in the classroom the importance of voting. They're going to support the Vote Texas initiative. They're going to get a speaker, and this is what I recommended. It's Amber that is overseeing the International Women's Day event. They're going to have an International Women's event too. And they were going to work the voting, importance of voting into it, and I recommended to her, and I'm going to suggest that you get in touch with her, because I offered the commission's involvement in her event and their involvement in our event, so that we see that kind of linkage. They're going to ask for a speaker, and they're going to have an essay contest with a scholarship as a prize on the importance of voting, okay? Immediately she got involved, all right, that's one. LARCY, the organization of retired educators, immediately got involved with a voting registration kind of campaign that they want to work on. Where's Olga? Is Olga here? Olga isn't here yet? No. She's coming. I know, and I'll let Olga talk about what they're doing at St. Augustine. She immediately committed. The Sisters of Mercy, not only through CASA, but also through their clinics, also committing to voter registration. And one of the things that we need to be aware of, ladies, is that when they ask for a voter registration event, that means that some of us, all of us, are going to be encouraged. Not all of us have to show up. But for example, 2 days after our event, the city of Laredo had they had an HR fair, and they asked us to go and register. And so Sylvia and I were there. But it could be, AIA is arranging for a voter registration all-day event. I don't know if it's Custom Brokers, Medium, but
Yeah, I think she mentioned the custom brokers and the manufacturers association.
she's planning on an all-day event where we would be available to register their eligible voters. So we're going to be calling on you, because it could be, if it's an all-day, then we'll want blocks of
And the
volunteers.
city of Laredo contacted me again, and they have some more job fair, I mean, some of those coming up. So as soon as she gets them to me, I will send them.
Yes, thank you, Sylvia.
Char Media is going to be helping with electronic signage. L&T, to begin with, created our logos and our graphics. Those are going to be showcased not only in print, but also online, and those are huge. The spread there is huge, but they're also going to do something else that I appreciated being reminded of many years ago. Some of you might remember. You might remember the Ghost of the 90s that some of us were involved with a while back. And it was basically strategic planning for the city of Laredo. But what we did there, we had the media, all the media who contributed in-kind support to that campaign. They were able to tally what the value of that in-kind contribution was to the campaign. and ultimately it totaled over $1 million. So what he is recommending, and he's gonna do this, he's going to ask all the media partners, and that includes our schools and colleges and anyone that has electronic media. They have a system for being able to tally the value of that in kind. And so that ultimately, when we close our campaign in November 2020, we'll be able to tell our community, we got so much value from our media partners. And so that'll be another way of showcasing. City of Laredo, HR immediately connected. Gateway Community Health Center through Mara Lopez and through Elmo Lopez, immediately connecting. IBC, you heard IBC. LISD, we know will definitely. I'm going to follow up with Gloria Rendon and United, because I know United will also.
By the way, I had lunch with the Rotary, and she told me, Esther, I want to do it.
Good.
So y'all please call us, and I said, yeah, you've got to step it up, because there's a lot that can be done.
Happening.
So I'm giving you the message
Yes,
now.
very good. So over 40 organizations who appeared and engaged with us, and at least right now already 11 or 12 that have already committed. Olga, I had mentioned to them that I knew you were going to be working with St. Augustine. You want to brief the commission on what will probably happen at St. Augustine?
So we're definitely going to get our seniors registered to vote. I think Dr. Villarreal wanted a window of time, so we called back today with some dates. And that should be pretty easy to do.
Yes,
So
I've been involved
I don't
with
know
that
how many of
campaign.
the 100 are already 18, but we will register those that.
Well, what I'm going to do, I don't know, I think you were here, maybe not. I'm going to email all of you the links to the logos.
Okay.
So that whatever you're doing, if you can continue to showcase, yes, I will vote, that helps us develop that wide circle of partnerships with us.
We do have report card night on Thursday, and we have about 500 families. So if there's anything, we usually give them a packet with the report card. We can include something in there.
Well, whatever you can do to give us an opportunity to register eligible voters, if you'll just let us know, and that applies to any organization that you all are working with, ladies. If you know of an organization that might have in their audience eligible voters who might not have registered yet, just let us know so that we can
send some
recruit.
people.
Did all of us get deputized? Every single one of us is deputized? Some of you were not?
Well,
No, it's not, but I don't think she was on the council at the time. and
Okay,
I don't
because
think
if
anyone
you
was
are
there.
interested in getting deputized, you need to let us know so we can make arrangements for you with our elections administrator.
One note that I need to let you know, the elections office had not approved the voting sites yet, the permanent voting sites and the mobile unit sites. They were going to the commissioner's court this morning, and they're supposed to have approved them. I don't know, did they approve them, Alice?
Yeah, there was discussion on it, because I know there was some
Because it was
moving
going
around.
to commissioner's court. They
Yeah,
couldn't give me the dates.
it went through today, but I know that they had changed some signs and stuff like that, but it got approved today.
Yeah, okay, so what we need to do until, because the dates, we didn't have them at the time in that little pamphlet. So what we want to do is let everybody know they can go into the elections office link and find it and get copies of it, because there's going to be voting in the 18th of February to the 28th. Those are the early voting dates, but there's a lot of sites they can go to. So the idea is for the businesses to let their employees go out on early voting. So they can get those dates in the internet through the elections administrator office, go to their link and find the election sites. Or we can, if they need to get copies of it, to call me. I mean, or we'll let them know how to go and get copies of that particular voting sites, those sites. So, like I said, the total that we want to get out is 40,000. I think we're going to exceed it, because there's a lot of people that are very interested in voting this time around.
And just a sidebar comment, this is awesome, our attendance is almost 100%. I know Elia was tied up with customers, but she was gonna try to make it, but every single one of you is here. All right, let's move on to Hall of Fame selection. I'm gonna turn it over to Diana Espinosa, but before I do that, I wanna thank the committee, because it was very, it was beautifully mentored and guided. Diana was very, very well prepared. The commission members that attended were very methodical. You have to remember that what we used was a matrix that had been initially discussed and developed by the commission, submitted to legal for approval, and then ultimately approved by the city council. And so it was very methodical, very careful, and I'm very proud of the results. Yeah, and I'm going to turn it over to you.
Well, first of all, we have to give our thanks to Sulema, because I think
Yes.
Sulema, as you guys know, keeps us all in check, and I don't think we could do anything without her. So I think we need to give her a round of applause. So great. But anyway, girls, I think you all have this, you've seen this nominating scoring sheet in your packet, and you're familiar with it. I just wanted to tell you that each committee member used this, right? So each one had their sheet. We had our individual packets for each candidate, and we scored each nominee by ourselves according to the criteria. But before we even started, we reviewed the eligibility requirements, just to refresh in our memory. So in the third column, we have the category and then eligibility requirements. Sulema put the eligibility requirements in the back of the form, so we reviewed that to make sure we were all on the same page. And then we started. So then each one quietly reviewed each folder, or one folder, let's say, on the same candidate, and came up with a total score. Then I had another form, and I took then everybody's score on that particular candidate, right? So once we did that one nominee, then we got the second folder and did the same process. It took us, I guess, close to 6 hours. We didn't do it all in one day. This was in a span of about 2 days. So it took long. But I think it ran smoothly. I think we had to discuss in between sessions some things that were happening, but I think we were able to harmoniously figure out where we needed to go with some things, and we've already made some recommendations on how we can even improve some of these things for the next process, which will happen again in 2 years. So with that said, we came up with the candidates, and I don't know if this is in the packet. It is, okay, so I guess you all can see it. But we came up with 7 names, and we have Cristina Mendoza for Fine and Performing Arts, and second, Olivia Varela for Business Professional, Ana Cristina Martinez, Education, Martha Kaiser for Civic Leadership, Public Service, Marilyn Dayano for Volunteerism, Lucy Guardiola, for Law Enforcement, and Patricia Niles for Healthcare. All the folders were outstanding. I mean, they're wonderful girls, all of them. It was hard, but these girls were way up there, way up there. So that's what we came up with, and what else can I say? And it was all quantitative. So the emotions were not there, the subjectivity was not there. If I like somebody, let's say I like somebody in particular, Esther could have knocked me off, and the rest of the people would have knocked me off because it was all quantitative. So if I had cheated, the rest of the group would have knocked me over, you know what I mean? Because it had a lot of what we would call inter-rater reliability and validity, because it was all quantified.
I remember years ago when we were in another place, I had been very concerned about one individual that I wasn't sure that the motives were in the right place, and we had a wonderful facilitator who, because I shared my concern, he said, Sylvia, you don't have to worry about that because the system will take care of it.
Exactly.
The system will take care of it, and it was very, very quantitative, very objective, very thorough.
When you do it individually like that, we're human, and so everybody might know 1 or 2, and you kind of play it into your scoring, whether you want to admit it or not. But the fact that you're taking an average score and it's numerical, it evens out at the end.
One other point that we need to underscore over and over again, that what we're presenting today is a recommendation.
Right.
These are recommendations made by the committee
Right.
that will be presented to city council, and it's city council who ultimately will make the decision. So you need to remember that. We need to remember that, Alice.
A question. I don't remember the lady's name that we all voted that passed away from last year. So is she on here?
No, because if you will recall, the bylaws that were approved by city council included a statement that said that posthumous awards were not allowed.
Right. But I know that was brought up at one of our meetings because of that. And then we still agreed to bring it forward to council, and they agreed. But someone brought it, the legal or somebody took it to council or something like that?
We
or-
voted as
As a group to
as a
bring, to
commission
present it to council.
to include her for this year because we had approved her last year and then she passed away.
I know that I approached our city secretary, and what I was reminded of was that
Right.
we're looking at 2020 and that the bylaws exclude. Now, I can do this. I can certainly go back to city secretary and ask him to raise it again.
And may I interject right here?
No?
No.
Okay.
Basically, that discussion we've already had with Mr. Valdez. And basically, council made it very clear that no posthumous awards. Okay, what I recommended is, and I'm gonna tell all of this to you and it's videotape. This is something that council has to do, okay? And if you go before council and say, we wanna honor so-and-so who is now deceased, then you're opening a big can of worms because there's gonna be other people that wanna honor people that have already passed on. What I would recommend, if you feel very strongly, is to contact your individual council representatives individually and say, we want to honor so-and-so. We feel very strongly. Can you get it on the agenda? That they can put it on the agenda. We cannot, okay? So call as many council members as you know, and if they all start hearing the same message, then it's gonna come from them, okay? The last thing that we wanna do is go before council in a public forum and start requesting to honor someone that they have very, very clearly stated on the bylaws that is not gonna be done.
Can I make a remark?
Sure.
I wasn't suggesting, Sulema, that we go before city council.
Okay.
What I was suggesting was simply that I would bring it back to the attention of our city secretary. I agree with the idea, but by no means was I suggesting to bring it before city council.
Well, and
Not as a commission.
Well, here again, and we keep going to Mr. Valdez when he's already said there's nothing we can do.
Well, I haven't gotten that.
Oh, okay.
I haven't gotten that. And besides, the reason I go to Mr. Valdez is because I was very clearly told that he was my liaison, Sulema. Okay, Sandra?
Just a comment, I know that clause is in the bylaws, but it's a clause that has been there for 25 years, posthumously, that we will not recognize anyone like that. So that's why it was included with city council. It's not that it was something new that they imposed. But we knew that, and we all were in agreement to include her because her application had come in while she was living.
You're right.
And unfortunately, she passed, and we had all agreed that she was worthy of it. So I understand the concern.
I'm going to recommend that we definitely consider what Sulema has suggested, that we contact our individual, and if the possibility of maybe a special recognition for her in the meantime. But I think right now, if each one of us contacts our city councilman and lets them know that this is something that we felt strongly about, perhaps we can arrive at some. Sandra?
I also wanted to thank Diana, because when I was chair, this was one of the things that for 25 years we had not had this type of system to select our Hall of Fame nominees. recommendations, and I know that she took it on, and it took her a while, but she really did an outstanding job from what I'm hearing, and I just want to really thank her for the time and the effort that you put in. It seems like it's a small task, but I know it was very important, and very important for the future of the organization.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let's move on to venue, Hall of Fame venue. This is Esther.
Okay, were we not gonna make a motion to accept?
Oh, I am sorry, yes, absolutely. We need to make a, I would listen for the motion to approve the recommendation that will be made to city council, and a second or somebody.
I so move.
Moved and seconded by Esther, all in favor? All opposed? It's unanimous. All right, thank you. Okay, let's go on to venue, Esther.
To the venue, I want to just let you know that the two companies that responded were the Country Club and La Posada. And La Posadas, they are willing to do the same menu that we had the last time we were there 2 years ago for the same price. So what I did is I sent an email to the Country Club asking them if they could meet that or match that, and I have not gotten a response. So, be more than glad to wait, or if you want to decide now, we
We can
can
entertain a
decide.
motion today.
If I may, I'd like to make a motion.
I'll second that, yes.
If
Seconded.
you're with me, if you can have it at La
All
Posada.
right.
I'll second that, yeah.
The only thing I'm going to recommend to anyone that's working on this project, let's begin to submit figures so that we can start creating a realistic budget.
And I will send that.
Okay.
I will send
What
it.
what is the figure that was
It's
submitted?
36 something, I'm sorry, I don't have that around.
Oh, okay, like around
Yeah.
3,600?
Yeah, I'll
Oh,
send it, I apologize.
That's awesome.
Committee members. I
Great job,
apologize.
Esther.
Thank you, Esther. All right. Reception, Sandra?
Yes, well, now that we know, I will contact staff to see what time is available. So, and I will let you know so that we can do it. A time that you all would prefer, I'm thinking after 5:30 would be recommended for the.
Sandra, did we decide that we would do it here in city council chambers,
ma'am.
correct?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Are we gonna try for a resolution, or is it simply going to be is it gonna be an announcement?
It's mainly an
An
announcement.
announcement, okay. That's
Yes,
fine.
if you wanted to do a resolution, I would recommend you do it the day of the
On
event.
the day of the event, okay. So then we're shooting, and so let's mark the 20, well, right now, we had suggested, we had played,
After council approves or.
So do you want me to look at the 22nd, 23rd, or 24th?
we had the 24th, to be announced, to be determined as the suggested date for the media reception. So let's shoot for that one, and that gives us enough time for the approval, and then for the ladies to be contacted, and gives them time to, so as soon, what will happen then, Sandra, is that we're gonna make the recommendation on the 21st. God willing, they're approved, and that means that immediately after, we begin notifying them. I know that in previous years, you all had used a madrina protocol. Are you all gonna wanna do that again?
I would think, I mean, I don't know unless you all don't
What
want
do
to
you,
do
well,
that.
we,
It can help
Yanita, you were the
individual.
captain of that, I mean, you were the one that was just on the ball with that. What do you
The
think?
madrina consists of whoever takes part of taking care of one of the nomination or the honorees, that person gets the individual and get them dates and times that they need to follow through before the event. You know, like if they're gonna do the media the video with Jerry, you know, for them to get the dates to be going and to let them know exactly what is it that they're supposed to be doing, to guide them through the actual day of the event, which will be the Hall of Fame, which will be March the 8th.
I think it's a very smart practical, because it distributes the responsibility among 7 designated members of the commission. Can I ask for 7 volunteers from the commission to take responsible, each one of you, for one lady? Amber, will you jot them down for me? All right, so, and later you can either pick your nominee or, but I know right now we have Rosa Maria, we have Dolores, we have Sandra, we have Esther, that's 4.
I think Elia said that she wanted this.
Elia, okay, Maribel, Carol, Diana, I think we got it.
And I'm going to choose Marilyn. She's my
I
relative.
did, Rosa,
And
yes, I know.
Yes, and I
Yes,
drive
you see her
her
a lot,
back and
you
forth.
drive her.
I'm her driver.
Okay, so that we get
So,
everyone?
I'm her driver.
We got everyone?
Yes.
Yes?
It's just again?
Okay, let's call them out again, Amber.
Already got 'em.
Amber, you wanna call them out again?
Yes, I have Rosa Maria, Dolores, Esther, Maribel, Carol, Diana, and Elia.
Pero who's gonna take care of whom?
Well, right now, unless you all have I know, for example, we can do that.
Rosa Maria's doing Marilyn.
Okay, let's have
Okay, one
Esther.
at a time, I guess.
Esther,
Elia, we'll do Olivia Varela, and I don't mind anybody, so I'll just go down the line. Ana Cristina Martinez, I'll do Ana Cristina Martinez.
okay, Ana Cristina for Esther, Elia will take
Olivia
Sandra.
I'll do, Martha Gonzalez Kaiser.
Okay, Dolores, did you have something to say?
Oh,
Patricia Miles.
Okay.
you wanna do her? Okay, Maribel will do Martha Kaiser.
Okay,
I'll get Lucy Borrell.
do we have everyone assigned?
Who is doing Patricia now?
Who said Patricia Niles?
I'll get
Dolores.
Well, then I guess I'm out.
Who's doing Cristina Mendoza? Who's doing Cristina
Oh, I'll do
Mendoza?
Cristina.
Sandra.
Oh, did you?
No,
No, Esther's doing
We just went.
Ana Cristina
Let's
Martinez.
go ahead and do,
I'll do Cristina Mendoza.
Esther wanted to switch.
I got it. I got the
We
switch.
took care of it.
The only one I didn't have for was Christina. Was it Christina?
Mendoza, I did.
You'll do Christina?
okay, can we go?
Can you go down the one?
Folks, let's,
I have it already. Cristina is Sandra,
Wait a minute.
Olivia is Elia.
let
Amber,
Amber,
you wanna go down with number
Amber,
one
let's
all
go
the way
over
down?
them.
Okay, I have number 1, Sandra, number 2, Elia, number 3, Diana, number
No,
Diana Rodriguez.
Diana Rodriguez, number 4, Esther. Is that right or no?
No, I'm number 6.
No, that's Maribel.
number 4 is who?
Maribel.
Maribel. And then I have Rosa Maria, number 5, number 6, Esther, and number 7, Dolores.
Is that
6 would
correct?
be Carol and
Yes.
myself,
Okay.
please, because if I'm out of time, Carol, you, okay. Actually, you run with it and I'll help you.
Number 2 is Elia.
Okay, the only other pending, I think, big task associated with this is the program and the amenities and the awards and is that something that normally venue, that you would work with, Esther?
So based on the minutes, it's, yes, that was there.
Then let's plan on getting together and talking
Yes.
about that. And if anybody, do you work with a committee?
I would love to work with a committee, and I did have one, and I do have one.
And so we're looking for a committee that would help Esther
I think it's right.
with the amenities, the program, the awards,
We have one already.
I
We
think
have one.
originally they had assigned duties
We
to
have one.
almost all of us.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. It's in the.
It's
So
in the
let's,
minutes.
Esther, let me depend on you to come up with the different tasks and duties, and then and then what I'm going to do, once we get a list of everything that surrounds the actual event, I'm gonna send it back out to you so that by the time we meet in February, we've already know who's going to be working with what. Okay? We'll work on that, Esther?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. All right.
So you let us know when we're gonna end up starting to notify them. And
Well-
You're gonna get us the name and their phone numbers?
You should be able to notify them right after city council.
Yeah, but we need their
So
numbers.
you just need, yeah, so you just need to get the
We'll get that
contact.
information from Sulema, and that'll go out to all of you.
Yes.
So that the evening of the council meeting, counting on it being, the recommendations being approved, then we can immediately, each one of you who's volunteered to be the madrina for one of the nominees would immediately, and by that time, we should also have information on the video project,
After the dates.
Perfect, yes.
okay?
I have the, sorry, if I may,
No,
if you
no,
want me
go
to go
ahead.
back. I have the cost for the menu and I have the menu. If you wanted me to go over that.
Do you want
I
to
could
talk
go
about that,
back,
girls? You want to hear the menu and the cost?
Or
Just the cost, I don't know.
Okay, so the cost is $35, but they do charge an 18% gratuity. So it'll be about 38 cents.
Do they charge the city gratuity?
They don't charge taxes, but they do charge gratuity.
the
It's not
gratuity.
inclusive.
That's what I'm thinking, okay.
And for those of you that would like to hear the menu, it's a sliced seasonal fresh fruit and berries, organic mixed greens with tomatoes and cucumbers, raspberry vinaigrette to sour and ranch dressing, eggs benedict with hollandaise sauce, crisp bacon, ham, roasted potatoes, smoked salmon with mini bagels, capers, and cream cheese, grilled chicken, breast piccata, and lemon caper butter sauce, herb crust, I can't see. Salmon or salami? Salami. Gee, salami. It's salami, she forgot the I.
Is this a
Salam filet with poblano cream sauce, fresh berry bagel and churros, assorted sections of cakes, pies,
It's a buffet.
and dulces, pan de dulce, orange and apple juice, ice water and tea, regular and decaf coffee. $35 per person plus gratuity.
And it'll amount to, how many do we anticipate? Have you all invited in the past?
Here we invited 200 2 years ago.
And so it translates into,
Well, 200 comes about, well, I have the
So
invoice
the
actually.
the people for the city council, the commission, and then how many per?
but
per-
numbers wise, we average about.
About 8,260 if it's for 200 people.
Okay.
And that's just inviting the nominees, no family, right?
No families.
Right.
Yeah, families, I mean, if you want the nominees.
You want the nominees
They
to
have
have.
to have
We don't limit them.
Oh, they can bring whoever they want.
We don't limit them.
And
And we have one day for them,
Night, and then.
Yeah.
Okay.
The tables were eight. Tables of eight.
So how many can they bring?
We're gonna say, if the table is of 8, and the nominee is gonna be on the table, then it would be 7. If the table is of 10, then 9.
And we have 7 nominees, so you're talking about 70 coming, anticipated coming from.
Plus us.
Plus us and elected officials and so on and so on. But we can talk some more about that so that when we meet again in February, Esther, when we meet again in February, let's have more detail to present to the commission in February.
And I'll have this
Yes.
printed out for you guys, if y'all want to, and I can email it as well. But my recommendation is gonna be for the 8 per table because of the space that is set up there, but we can all, the committee can help me out with this and decide what we want to
Okay.
recommend to you guys.
Anything more, girls,
Our
ladies?
next meeting is the second Monday? The 10th?
It's on the thing here.
In the head.
February the
Yes.
10th it is.
Okay?
There we go.
All right.
That's the next
The
meeting,
next
right?
item was the Empowering Women Seminar, which we indefinitely postponed, and so we move on.
If I may, I did get to speak to Lizette, and she had told me everything was set up with the outlets.
Yes, everything had been set up because we had made arrangements for the outlets. And from what I understand, Amber had helped her with speakers, but there had been absolutely no outreach.
There had been no outreach until like the flyer wasn't made until last Monday and nothing had gone out to the public. So I had asked her before Christmas break, you know, what is your marketing strategy? Like, how do we get people to commit to coming to this? And she said she was gonna be working with the city, and then it barely came out on the 13th.
Okay, so it
So
had not been marketed.
So it had not
Not
been
at all.
marketed at all.
I was seeing correspondence between her and our PIO folks the day before our luncheon, where they were simply talking to her about, here's the flyer, which I never actually looked at because by that time I knew that she was already resigned. So yes, the speakers had been contacted, half of them I think through Amber, but no audience. So, all right, International Women's Day.
We have 4 speakers.
4 speakers.
We have 4 speakers and no audience. And the other thing is that it was scheduled for tomorrow from 1 to 3.
Right.
Which is also very hard for people to go 1 to 3. So my idea was that we would postpone it to the following month on a day that they don't have to go to work. I think it was President's Day that comes to mind next month. And then I was also thinking of ways we could also coordinate childcare. Because they do have an area at the outlets where they have where the kids can play and read and stuff. And so I had 2 thoughts on that. One, the girls from St. Aug, they need hours, service hours. Or 2, I was thinking about contacting a daycare to see if they would come volunteer a few hours for us.
I think service hours would be good.
Right, and they already do tutoring, so.
Oh, perfect.
they're
Yeah,
used to
so if we
it.
did a day in February, then
Yes.
they can come drop off their kids, come learn. It's a little bit more planned that way instead of just in the middle of the day and not able to do. So.
I know that it is January the 20th, it's a holiday for the district, but there is stuff to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that would be next Monday already.
Yeah.
That's too
No,
soon.
not next Monday.
Not next Monday, in February.
In February. Either we can do it in February or we do it some other time. But
When are we gonna do? Okay. For now it's postponed, but it's still on the table.
It's still on the table.
So possibly what we can do, if Amber continues to work with it, and I don't know if you're gonna look for some help, maybe
Yeah,
from the
no.
commission members, if anyone would be interested in helping her, let her know, and then when we have some more, I'm sure the outlets would continue to offer.
Yes.
I just need to let her know that it's been canceled for now. How about International Women's Day, Amber?
International Women's Day is still the same day, March 7th. I already have a few more speakers. I just need bios, and the link will be going live soon for registration. It'll be from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on March 7th, the day before our Hall of Fame.
Where is it going to be?
It'll be at Mile 1. So we'll start at Mile 1, we'll do a big breakfast and networking there and the first series of workshops, and then we're gonna break into groups and we'll use the upstairs and downstairs of Cultura, and then have a brunch outdoors and have women entrepreneur vendor pop-ups.
Is there a cost for this?
No, it's free.
It's free, it's
It'll be
sponsored
free.
by us.
Yeah, it'll
So
be
who can
sponsored.
go?
Anybody can sign up, all ages, I would say 18 to 70.
And it's from what time to what time?
9 to 2.
And when will you start publicizing and?
I'll probably start, I'm gonna push it to probably February 1st, so that we have a month
Okay.
to register. Last time I did it within 2 weeks, and we had a pretty good turnout, but I want people to be able to go and find what workshops they wanna attend to, and then I can create a list of who goes where.
And who are your venues, what are your outlets for marketing it?
I'm gonna create a Facebook event first and correlate that with the city, so the city can put it out as well. But then boost it through my Facebook and create an Eventbrite so that they can RSVP and pick which workshops they want to attend to.
And then as you do that, and when that's ready, if you'll let us know so that we all can pick up on it and continue
share
to
it,
and
yeah.
share within our own social media.
Yeah,
then.
and I'll probably do a media outreach too.
Great.
Mhm.
Sandra?
I'm on the Planning and Zoning Committee for the county with Commissioner Cindy Liendo.
Mhm.
And she, for International Women's Day, not specifically that day, but she was wanting to do a shadow initiative with women. And so I'm just bringing it to you all if anybody's interested in participating with that. I don't have the exact date that she would like to do that.
Well, if you will do this, because Sulena's great about sharing. Anytime I have something for her, I tell her, please send it out to the ladies. Maybe if you can get something from her that's a formal invitation or flyer, and send it to Sulema so that she can send it to all of us with an invitation to participate. If we have, this would be for young women?
Yes.
Young women, young girls, well, if you can get some details, Sandra, so if it's young girls, or if it's middle school or high school, or what age group is she looking for, that'd be great. And on that, well, I think that's all that we have formally on the agenda. But I did want to share something with you that I received from Menguera and the Rio Grande group that has been working tirelessly on the wall issue. There's an invitation to all of us. The invitation had been whether the commission would like to participate as commission members on January 20th, Martin Luther King Day. There's going to be a march that begins at St. Peter's Plaza, and I believe walks to, Sandra, are you involved with this? Rosa Maria, you are.
Walks to San Agustin.
You want to brief them, because I know you're.
It's a 10 block, it's a 10 block walk, which
Okay.
is not that bad, it's like a mile, I guess. I'm not good, but it's not bad. It's not 10.
Yes, it's from St. Peter's, we'll meet at St. Peter's Plaza, then we're gonna go to the
San
San
Agustin.
Agustin Plaza, so we're trying to bring as many people as possible to
Yes.
support and show, an alliance, a coordinated effort, a large group. There are people that are coming in from out of town, and we need as many people there as possible. The wall, I think, the way I look at it is a nonpartisan issue. I think it is more of an issue of how it'll affect our community. I know there are people on both sides, some people support it, some people don't. But I think it's a 30-foot wall, and if you have no idea, go find a building that has a 30-foot facade, and just picture that at the front of our river. And it just kind of partitions us away from the water, which is our main source of water, and all the wildlife that we have.
Well, I know, I've begun consulting with the River Piers Foundation in San Ignacio. If you've never been there, you need to go one of these days. It is a priceless, historic community. And one of the properties that we work with primarily is the Trevino Uribe Rancho, which is hundreds of years old, and it's recognized internationally as a priceless, historic structure. It sits a couple of 100 feet away from the river. And they already know for a fact, if anything were to happen there, that entire community is going to be flooded. Because what happens when you put up a structure and there's a flood, basically accumulation, and so eventually you get a flood. And so there was a front page story that I wish had even more. Just a couple of days ago on San Ignacio being under threat. That entire little village of 500 people is historic. It would be more than likely destroyed if that wall goes up. Regardless of where you stand politically, environmentally, it is a real issue. We are being invited to participate as a commission. I know some of us are going to be walking, but we were invited to consider participating as a commission. So, just to let you know.
Is that something that you need to get approval by council, or can we go in our shirts?
I don't know. No, what?
You don't need approval.
You don't need approval. No. Okay?
I'm going, so I would
because
go.
of our
I would say
shirts.
yes, I would go, but I don't know about the rest.
I mean, do we wear our shirts, or we don't wear our shirts?
Well, I don't
I
have.
think we're
I don't
representing.
have a shirt. I don't
have
have
a
a
shirt.
Ready to order.
I'm going. Okay, whether we go as a commission, whether we go as a.
What shirt, is it a pink? What?
Well,
kind
some of
shirt
us
is it?
had shirts made, so,
well,
yeah. But it's a pink.
It's a pink,
It's
I'm
this one.
just thinking,
It's
is that what,
actually
it's
this one.
always that
Oh, yeah.
one. I have something similar, not exactly.
That's it
but
right
that
there,
color.
Sandra, if you-
That color is it, something pink.
Well, I'll see if I can have something
Full of
made on it,
diamonds.
but I'm
They gotta be dazzled.
Well, let's put it this way,
Espresso
several of us are going to be participating
Yes.
and will participate as commission members. I'm gonna see if I can get a pink shirt. But if any of you are interested, I'm gonna be sending out another notita after this meeting, and I'll mention it, and if any more of you are interested, let me know. We're going to be meeting at 10 o'clock?
Tomorrow, there's a press meeting, a press
conference.
conference at 10 o'clock at San Agustin. And also, I want you to know that some, 2 Native Americans from Lakotas are coming from South Dakota. They are the ones that protested the South Dakota pipeline. And they're in the same boat. I mean, we don't want our property to be, we as citizens of Laredo have a say so. And, I'm very vested in it because I don't believe in, I think it's all my people are from across, and I think we're the same people. And if we put a wall, it's sending them a signal, you're not welcome here, which is a symbol of racism and hatred. and I'm vested for that. Also ecologically, it'll be, like Sylvia said, remember the river just, is not just one line. There's a lot of creeks and a lot of, so it would be devastating for our fauna, where are deer going to go drink water, where, and then where are we going to drink water? They're going to put, it would damage. The rivers are drinking, we drink water from that river. It's gonna affect us, all of us, where it's our only source of water. And to put a wall, concrete and steel on it for miles. And then, let's not talk about the cost, like 25 million per mile or something ridiculous. For what? To keep people out? You're not going to keep people out. If you build 30, feet concrete, they're gonna build a 31 feet ladder. If people are hungry, they're gonna cross no matter what. It's not to keep them away. It's just a symbol to say, hey, I want this. Anyway,
Well,
don't get me
consider it,
started.
and I'll send a note out, and,
I'm going.
and in it, I'll be asking if any more of you are interested. We would be meeting at St. Peter's Plaza at 9:30. Amber?
Yes, I was just gonna offer, if anybody goes to the event and they wanna park at my house, it's right next to the park. You can park on my parking lot. I have plenty of space.
Thank
Where
you.
is your parking lot?
Well, you went to my house.
I know, but we parked on the street.
No, but there is parking.
It's on the
side.
street.
On this
Oh,
side.
we parked on the street, so I didn't see. the
Anything
parking lot.
else, folks? Anything else, ladies?
Anybody wants to go, I guess.
Well, I know
Besides-
several of us, and I mentioned, I'm gonna send a note, and if any more of the ladies want to come, they can. let
I
us
would
know.
love to go, but I am not available this week from Tuesday to Thursday during the day.
This would be as a Laredo, and do you want?
Right, no, I'll go, but what time?
It's gonna be Monday.
Not Monday, Sunday.
Oh, okay, Monday the 20th, I'm there.
Martin
I'm
Luther King
available,
Day.
Martin. I'm available
King's
Monday.
Day.
Anything else that we need
It's
to,
symbolic.
put on the table before we adjourn? The lawyer is asking that we, a motion to adjourn, Diana? Seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you so
Okay, my
much, great
beloved
meeting.
Contact. Lupita, do you have a minute? Lupita, do you have a minute? I have a minute. Do you have a minute? Yes. Do you have a minute? Maribel, do you have a minute? Maribel.
And her,
Monday.
what did